Hi everyone, this is Migs from Sneaks and Ball PH, and today we have a detailed look and review on the Nike Kobe 6 Protro All-Star. To start things off, I am just super happy that we get the Kobe 6 Protro All-Star. Because even though I think that the Kobe 6 Grinch is the most iconic Kobe 6 colorway, the Kobe 6 All-Star is a pretty close second. Kobe did wear the Kobe 6 All-Star during the 2011 NBA All-Star Game, which was held in the Staples Center in Los Angeles. And since Staples was his home turf, Kobe put on a massive show for everyone and won the 2011 All-Star Game MVP. The 2011 All-Star Game is definitely a really memorable one to me because I was just starting out in high school, and that All-Star Game was just stacked. Like for the East, you had Derrick Rose, the big three in Miami, which is Dwayne Wade, LeBron, and Chris Bosh. You had Amari Stoudemire and prime Dwight Howard. Then out West, of course, you had Kobe, then you had prime Chris Paul. You had a young Kevin Durant, a prime Carmelo Anthony, and you also had Yao Ming in the starting lineup. Then for the shoe itself, just like how the Grinch kind of made Christmas kicks a cool thing, the Kobe 6 All-Star was one of the shoes that really drove up the popularity of All-Star Game sneakers. This is because in the 90s and early 2000s, it wasn't that big of a thing to have a special colorway for the All-Star Game. However, once the 2010s rolled in, it became such a big thing. And now for every All-Star Game, we're all anxious to see what the stars have on their feet. Then with that out of the way, let's get into the unboxing. So the box on the Kobe 6 Protro All-Star is your standard Kobe 6 box. So it's that plain black box with your Kobe logo and Kobe signature. And it's just a pretty clean and simple box that's pretty well made. Then opening these up, and I'm just super duper excited to see these, and just getting the plain paper out of the way. And oh my goodness, these look so amazing. This is the first time I've seen them up close, and I've only really seen them in pictures on the internet from the official announcement and leaks, and of course from the All-Star Game in 2011. But seeing them in hand, it just looks so good. Like that red is this really nice shade, and it really pops even though it's not particularly bright. So just putting this down for a bit, and then getting the other shoe. Woo! These are just as fresh as you can get. I mean, like I said, the Grinch is number one, but this is a close number two for sure. You also have some material and aesthetic differences from the All-Stars compared to the Grinches, and of course we'll talk about that later. But just getting this other shoe, and here you have it, guys. This is the Nike Kobe 6 Protro All-Star. So just quickly going over the tech specs since we already have a video on the Grinch Kobe 6. So for the traction, the All-Star colorway does have an outsole that consists of milky white translucent rubber and is definitely very pristine and white right now. But these will definitely sort of discolor or get dirty pretty quick, and over time, maybe in 3 to 4 years, it'll start to yellow. But that really is just the nature of translucent outsoles. So while it's still nice and pristine, I'm going to enjoy them because I am still definitely going to use these on court and use them to walk around casually. The traction on the Kobe 6 Protro, just like I mentioned in my performance review, is definitely one of the best because it grips the court really well. It doesn't seem too affected by dust, and for the most part, even though this isn't the most durable option, it should last you a decent amount of time. Then for the cushion, the Kobe 6 Protro makes use of a full-length Cushlon midsole with a large zoom turbo unit here in the forefoot. The cushion on the Kobe 6 Protro is just so amazing and is a definite upgrade from the original Kobe 6, and it's just one of the most enjoyable cushion setups out on the market today. Of course, there are shoes like the LeBron 18 which have maximum cushion with that Cushlon, Air Max, and Zoom combination, and there are also a lot of shoes with maximum court feel such as the Harden Volume 4s for example. But in my opinion, the Kobe 6 Protro is the best balance of both cushion, court feel, and responsiveness that you can get right now. The Cushlon is just super soft and comfortable on foot, and is also pretty thick here in the heel, so if you are a heavy heel striker, you're pretty much covered there. Then once you go to jump off your forefoot or you're sprinting, You really feel the bounce back from that zoom turbo unit, and it just feels amazing. This Cushlon and zoom turbo combination is actually so nice that I really wish that they continue this setup with the Kobe 7 Protro, the Kobe 8 Protro, and so on. I don't really know how they will implement zoom turbo and Cushlon in a drop-in midsole, but I think if Nike really wanted to do so, they'd find a way. So please Nike, I'm begging you, put this cushion setup on all of these succeeding Protros. Then for the materials, it is pretty much the same as the Grinch colorway. So you have that micro mesh on most of the upper, and that really requires little to no break-in time. And you do have those polyurethane snake scales on top. The only difference between the scales on the All-Star colorway is that these are a bit more matte, while the scales on the Grinch colorway were a little more glossy. Then you have that same awesome Nike Torch tongue, heel counter at the back. Then they did change up the heel and the top of the tongue, but it is this hologram material which makes this sound, so I think, you know, this sound is pretty familiar to some of you, or hopefully most of you. So it's definitely not a premium material, but it does look cool and gives that hologram effect. Then for fit and sizing, once again, I went true to size with the Kobe 6 Protro in the All-Star colorway, and it fits me perfectly well. It's a very one-to-one fit with no dead space anywhere and fits pretty perfect just like how most Kobe's do. And then you also have that insole that really molds to your foot. And the longer that you walk in these and the longer that you play in these, the fit just gets even better. In the end, once you break in that insole and it really conforms to your foot, you get that feeling this shoe was made just for you. So my recommendation for the sizing is that if you have a narrow foot or a normal width foot, you should definitely go true to size. And then if you have a wide foot, go up half a size. Then for the aesthetic details on the shoe, here on the outsole, you do have that milky white translucent rubber. Then you have that carbon fiber midfoot shank here in the middle, and a red Kobe logo here at the heel. Then here on the rubber that comes up on the lateral side, you have some Kobe code. Then you also have Phenomenon embossed here on the toe. Then for the midsole, most of it is this really deep black. And then here at the back, you have a little bit of white. And on there as well, you have some Nike Zoom branding. Then moving on to the upper, you have that very nice shade of red, which they're calling Challenge Red. And it also has a bit of a gradient from black to that red. You have white Nike swooshes on the lateral side and medial side. And then here at the heel, that external heel counter is black. And you have a white Kobe signature on there as well. Then on the heel, you have that hologram material that at first looks black. However, when you sort of look at it at a different angle or just sort of tilt it around, you can see that there are red lines on the hologram pattern. You also have another hologram piece here on the tongue, and this was actually really cool. And prior to having this pair in hand, I didn't know that the All-Star colorway had a hologram on the tongue. But when you look at it from one direction, it has the Kobe logo. Then when you look at it from a slightly different angle, you can actually see the Western Conference logo. Then the Nike Torch tongue is this black, and it gives a really good contrast from the laces and the red on the upper. And speaking of the laces, it does have this cool alternating black and red pattern. And at the base of the laces, you have LA written on the right shoe and 2011 on the left shoe. Then on the insoles, you still have that All-Star theme because on the left it says West, and on the right it says LA 2011. Then for the overall aesthetics, I mean, what can I say? These are just a super fire pair of sneakers, and it just really takes me back as well. I really can't wait to finish shooting this video and wearing it outside and trying them on court, because I feel like, you know, whenever you wear a pair of Kobe 6s, whether it's the Grinch colorway, this All-Star colorway, or even my OG pair with this purple gradient, I just feel like a complete badass. And I think that holds true with my generation who grew up watching Kobe and really idolizing him and liking his shoes as well. These are definitely super clean, and I know all the Kobe fans out there really want this shoe, especially since not everyone would have been comfortable rocking a pair as loud as the Grinches. So this one, even though the red is still a little bit vibrant, it's quite a bit more subdued and in a way wearable compared to the Grinch Kobe 6. Then for the price, the Nike Kobe 6 Protro retails at 8,995 pesos here in the Philippines, or 180 US dollars. I've already said this before, but at 180 US dollars, given the nostalgia and the feels that this shoe gives, and plus the fact that this is a Protro, so they did improve on some things, especially the cushion, this shoe is definitely well worth the price. However, as I said before, the problem is there's so many resellers on the market today, and these did sell out pretty fast. And as usual, I am seeing them for sale already online for around 12,000 pesos or around 240 US dollars. But what I would recommend is that if you really want to buy a pair so that you can rock them or, you know, collect them or play with them like how they're meant to be used, then just wait a little bit, because I think as more and more colorways of the Kobe 6 Protro come out, the resale prices would go lower. So there you have it, guys. guys, that was my detailed look and review on the Nike 6 Kobe Protro All-Star. If you liked the video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Then if you have any comments, questions, or any suggestions for future videos, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below as well. Then also make sure to join the SNBPH Sneaker Hunters Facebook group because that's where I will be doing my monthly raffle, and I'll also be putting up the pre-orders for SNB merch on there as well. Then if you haven't already yet, please make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon for notifications. It would help us out a lot here at Sneaks and Ball PH.